Hey guys, welcome back to Clash with Barndo. I've got MLCW Week 2 replays for the Aussie Clan Alliance. We're first off, the rank is going to be Hyde Goons versus Violet Vipers. Now 39 to 40, they're in the Battle Machine League. What happened, it looked like there was a 9.5 put in the map on Violet Viper's side. This is just an assumption. I didn't actually ask leadership, but I'm assuming that they've come to an agreement. Both teams have left number 3s, have left the attacks and done the war as is, which is impressive. So mistakes are made doing rosters. It happens every season. I've done it before. I know other leaders that have done it before. If there's a mistake, talk to your other reps and just ask them. The whole part of fair play is a simple case of two even teams matched up going against each other. And you don't want that bad will and bad thoughts going through your mind, oh shit, they've got an advantage. That's not what it's about. So ask your opponents, talk to them, and you just never know. It might actually happen. You change it. So what we looked at here, 39 to 40, percentage was also in Violet Vipers' advantage. So even if the Stars would draw, they probably would have got away with a win anyway. Hit down fail there from Goons. That's a bit unfortunate. Did watch the raid, bit of a weird army composition. So we see here number 5 Darn, fresh 6-pack, and also Mark DS number 7. He took a 6-pack rehits. From there, Goons only had 4 other guys that actually took a Town Hall 9 versus 9 attack. So what's that? 4, 8 of the required 12 bases. Very hard when you've got to have 4 hit downs out of 4 attacks. Obviously, if the war was level and there was 2 more attacks, you never know what would have happened. You can't go over that. But Violet Vipers, on the other hand, you see 3 defences there, 4 versus Vasto, another couple of bases with 2, 2, and 1 with 3. So they didn't really go as impressive as well at the Town Hall 9 level. There was only 2 Town Hall 10 hit downs required, so they did get some 10 on 10 action, didn't pull any triples, and you see there also number 5, so it was the number 5s against each other. Joe Hammy took a fresh 6-pack as well, so well done, mate. They did have 2 other 6-packers, Dums and I don't know, number 15. So let's have a look at 3 replays quickly. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me, sorry, I'm recording live. I'm trying to smash these out before A, the replays go, and B, I can go to sleep. Now, what have we got here? Wally West, it looks like a Golar Loon. I haven't watched the full replay, just flicked out to see that it was a Golar Loon, and it's impressive to start. I like it. There's Valks, Wizards. It is a weird-ass looking army. So, Skeleton Spell in the bank. Lots of haste spells, so it looks like you would think it's only going to be a small kill squad. This is a fresh hit, of course, keep in mind. Air defences, Violet Vipers did have a couple of bases like this. It's a bit of a Town Hall 9 meta build at the moment where you've got 2 air defences together. Plenty of ways to take out the bases. Where are we going? Wally, old Jimmy Bob's on the table. There's only really mortars and 1 point defence shooting him at the moment. So he's using him as a bit of a herder. I see. Out comes the Golem. That's a fair bit of damage old Jimmy's taken. He's at 50% now. You expect he's probably going to have to go for a Rage. Wallbreakers come out. It's only going to be a small kill squad. So did the Redheads hit the table or they've already died? They were used down the bottom, I see. So Jimmy, Queen, and the Golem is all that's left now. The Golem, Jimmy's not taking any more damage, but oh shit, he almost drops down. So we've got a baby dragon, which archers in the clan castle. The enemy queen pops out over top and says, how you going? Starts giving a bit of few fires there. That witch is going to die. It's good how they took away the witch death effect. That was nice. So the queen doesn't go down, but he does have a rage. He does have a skeleton spell in the bag. So we look at, it's quite risky throwing out a whole lot of loons there early. Maybe could have come down from the bottom south sort of west side first and work through that and finish on the queen, but you can see there a completely full hog. The queen's down, skeleton spell ripped through her, shitloads, and oh my god. So Swag Hill, extra haste left in the bag. Cleanup's not looking too bad, so good hit from Wally West there. Impressive. It's good to see. We need to come up with these different kinds of armies. We're seeing some clans are still struggling at Town Hall 9, and it is very much alive still. Now we'll have a look at one of my replays here. Let's look at number 9, J-Town, and fresh hit. Now, I'll put a little bit of context into this hit. When I looked at this base, you can see my army build there. I'm pretty sure it's loons in the clan castle. So this is a lightning lava loon. I've done combos on this. I've done recaps on this recently, strategy guides. So I'm actively using this in MLCWs and CWL style wars, armies versus battles. I'll get the old drawing pen out. Now you can see here 2 air defences and 2 air defences over the side here. Now the thought process to it was both the blowers are facing these ways. So you don't really want to be putting any air down in that quadrant if you can avoid it. So, I don't know how to wipe the screen, I've got to load up my thingy-majig every time. Now what I've thought is, if I lightning out this air defence and use my heroes to kill this air defence, that means you're only going to have 2 air defences. You're going to sit your remaining hounds over the enemy queen and you can pop on her. So it might have been a hound in the clan castle. Either way, I don't fully recall. So you can do a lava loon pop. Now you take a max level poison for the clan castle, because a max poison will kill a baby dragon if it's sitting in there enough, and it's about then trying to have haste. Now the problem being is with the lightning lava loon combo is you're restricted if you need a rage belt to getting 3 haste effect spells, and that's what can really slow down a lava loon. So you can see you use a minion down the bottom there to start, just for shits and giggles, I think it was. There was no real major reason. It wasn't going to kill that in time to get the heroes done. So it was just to knock out that mortar, in effect. You see 1 wizard to start for the herd. Old Jimmy Bob hits the table. Earthquake down. So Jimmy starts running his tank. Enemy king comes down and gives that wizard all 4. Now, the queen turns in. She turns into those defences. It is a ground skeleton spell, which kind of slows things down. Jimmy needs to rage, otherwise he's not going to get his full 10 seconds out. Enemy queen takes that that thing, and you can see there, the enemy king didn't get a hit on the queen. So she took a little bit of damage, she heals up. But if you do these kinds of things at the start of a raid, you can be concentrating on that, and that can save your heroes at time. Out comes another ground skelly. I didn't pick these up during the raid, I just didn't understand that they had happened. 2 early heat seekers. Now it's a witch baby dragon in the clan castle. Now you see the poison going down on the baby dragon, because that baby dragon is going to be tethered over that hound, but the hound then moves fairly quickly and drags that baby dragon out. The baby comes out of the poison. Enemy queen's going batshit, but you've got the rage in effect there. One of the hounds has already popped. Rage pups generally deal with the queen quite quick and easy. So you can see now a good spread of these loons. The baby was thrown up the top there at 12 o'clock, 11 o'clock, just to try to push it towards the enemy baby dragon. This is where you're going through the oh shit button. Still plenty of loons on the table. That wizard tower is in a really horrible spot. Luckily enough, that baby dragon comes down into that wizard tower fire, and that's what's done it in the end. The enemy clan castle baby dragon still going batshit crazy, but luckily there's enough left in the bag. So the enemy queen, which was started at the beginning of the war, actually survived. War raid, I should say, actually survived and lasted till the very end. So a little bit of luck there, but it was a reasonable plan. I'd like to think so anyway. I'll tell myself that. Where are we? Let's have a look now at Mark Diaz. He did hit the 6-pack as well. Now, what is this? This was a re-hit. I'm not actually too sure on what the first hit shown, but he's gone in with a witch slap, 2 golems, 2 healers. So what is it? The air defences are right in the middle of that base. So those healers are going to be able to go batshit on whatever they want to go on. He's put them on the flank for the witches. I expect that's just to be able to get through those wizard towers. Bowlers, Jimmy, Queen going through the midfield. 2 jumps, 2 rage. Fairly standard sort of a witch slap outside of having 1 golem on 1 flank, which was tanking the Teslas. And you see now going through midfield there, it was a hound in the clan castle. So the Queen will tether on that. The bowlers will keep going through midfield with Jimmy and doing their damage. And we look like we've got a skeleton spell in the bag. What are we doing with the skeleton spell? Holds onto that, puts it down in not really the best time or spot. So we'll call that a swag, shall we? You can see now he's still got his queen, level 29 queen. She's just pew-pewing away. Doesn't need to pop that. So you can see two of those healers, both the healers that started the raid, lasted right through until the end. So absolutely huge rage out of that recycling DPS, which is obviously making the skeletons, and healers keeping them alive. So great war for you, Mark. Yeah, I'll pause now and go to the next one. Okay, second war for the week, which finished, was Down Under versus Darc Dawning. Now, these guys are in the Barbarian King 2, 5, 13 breakdown. 5-star win in any kind of tournament, 20 versus 20, is absolutely massive. Where did we go wrong? What happened? Not where did we go wrong, I should say, but where did Darc Dawning go wrong? So we see 1 star on both Griff and Doth. That's on our 11s there, and you can see just 2 stars on the rest. That means the 11s did fail, and there was a couple of 9s left as well. So the 9s have failed also. So on the flip side of that, we saw 1 Town Hall 11 missed, and there was a couple of hit downs. So there was also a couple of fails. We'll look at some stats in that. All the 9s were killed by 9s from Down Under. It was over 60% hit rate. Absolutely amazing work for Down Under. And they had 7 Town Hall 9 opens, meaning bases 1 to 7, all the 10s, all the 11s were scouted prior, but no magical 10 or 11 real massive work there. You see Griff did have attack at 11 versus 11 and it missed that, and you can see 1 hit down fail there from Doth. Outside of that though, some really stellar performance from Town Hall 9s, and that's one of those things in these kinds of formats is Town Hall 9s can't win the war, but they certainly can lose it. And in the end, they can certainly make it bloody well easier. And if you've got all the bases open, it makes it so much harder as a Town Hall 10 planning triples or a Town Hall 11 trying to hit down without seeing sneaky stuff. So we saw 3 6-packs being simply shredded. Terry and where was we? I think it was Nikki down the bottom there, Nikki Jade. Outside of that, there was a mix as well. There was quite a few other guys. Lots of Discord planning. Really awesome to see. Let's have a look at some of the bases. I didn't look at the stats here. For Town Hall 10 versus 11, we saw Down Under got 1 from 5, but Darc Dawning got 0 from 4. So very close together. 20% for one team, 0% for the other. So lots of defends on the 11s, of course. They only really got 1 hit on the Town Hall 10s. There wasn't really much opening going on there. So we see 3-3, 3-3. So nothing really massive, but when you're taking 3 and needing hit downs, you can see there the fails on the 11s. So not sure whether these guys are new to scrims and that. It is pretty hard work at Town Hall 10 and 11, and with the way the meta's changing, the Town Hall 11's getting the defense upgrades coming through. Did they have any 6-packs on their Town Hall 9s? Yeah, so we see there Blackfire. It's a good war for him. And from there, nothing really magical from that. And how did their defences go? So everything taking fresh hit, or there was only 1 base that took more, and that was number 8. Now, looking at the stats, it was 8 fresh hits for Down Under verse 3, and that was really amazing to see. Now, sorry, just trying to work out which bases I was showing. I'm going to show the guys that have done the 6-packs like the previous Goons War. We're going to have a look here at Terry doing a re-hit on number 9, and he's gone in with the old stink. And it's like a child making a father proud. I have done a little bit of planning with Terry before, and this seems to be one of his preferred armies. Now, what I liked about this was the witches going in there. There was actually several things I liked about this. He's analysed the base well. I'm not too sure where the giant bombs were. I didn't get to see the previous hit to this, but you can see that Jimmy Bob going in there with 2 witches on support. The queen behind him. They do really, really well at the start there. And what was interesting about this base, seeing the analysis afterwards, was how he's sending in his stink. So the stink finger works on being a 2-finger raid. Your hogs are going to go in. Your hogs are going to go in. Now, your heroes, your kill squad over there, so old Jimmy Bob and the queen, they're going to get that defence, those Teslas. That means on this tier wall here, you've only got one Archer Tower and one Archer Tower that are actually going to cause any major grief to Jimmy and the Queen. So once you knock out those, it's going to make a very soft pathing for the Hogs, and it's just absolutely brilliant. Now we see the enemy Queen is on the bomb tower, so you have to be very careful with that. Pops out the Skelly spell, probably a touch early on the Skelly spell, but what's impressive about that drop is that it's guaranteed to absolutely wreck her because she's not moving out of that cell. So the pathing was perfect for the Hogs to drop it. So he's dropped it down there because obviously there was a giant bomb there, and then the bomb tower also hitting into it. Now you see no need for that heal. The last two heals, there was no need for either of them. Good for Wizards, few archers, doesn't end up using that heal in the end. The Hound's following those Hogs with its finger in its bum, and it's just an absolutely smashing re-hit. So, yeah, really, really good to see. So, well done, Terry. Six-pack war, of course. And a really impressive base analysis of a Hound clan castle. Lots of Hounds, still popular at Town Hall 9, still popular in MLCW. And I don't think it's going to change anytime soon. Now let's go down. We'll look at number 18, Sir Troy. This is one of Nikki Jade's attacks. I didn't watch the full attack, but I saw Peckers, I saw healers, Hogs, and I just thought, shit, yeah, we have to have a look at this and see what it is. So let's have a look. You can see two heroes down the bottom here. Not max heroes, but up there looks like a max defense base, so it'll be 68k base. With heroes and walls dragging the score down. Archers to start off with. So a bit of herding there with the archers. Out comes a couple of Wizzies. And I think you would call this a Pecker Parade, would you not, if you drop healers on it? So the healing there for the old big girls. And in go the heroes. So I'm guessing bowlers, yes. Baby Dragon, Valk, Wizard. Now this is a fresh hit. That's what I liked about that. To see a Pecker Parade, a fresh hit. Healers going through the midfield there. Only one surviving, but a good chunk of Hogs at the end. So it was 12 Hogs there at the end, and the heal to get through that enemy Queen. It's just absolutely brilliant. That's a ballsy attack. Last healer drops down to a Heat Seeker. Now, what's interesting about the Pecker Parade, and it's not something that we use a lot of Aussie addicts, or even really any of the Aussie Clan Alliance use too much, is what's interesting about it, as long as the Peckers have been healed up and they get through the majority of the defences, they will absolutely smash it. And if the Queen's been missed, or if there's a defence being missed, they'll tank a good amount of time. They can walk through giant bombs, they can go through stuff like that. And yeah, really impressive to see it come out. A couple of minions, archers for clean-up. And that was a fresh hit 3-star. Thank you, Mother, for the rabbits. So, where are we? Let's have a look at the last one. I was going to go and have a look at a Heave-A-Ho. Where are we? Number 20, I think that was. And this is from Simply Shredded. He got the fresh 6-pack. Always more juicy. Low-level bomb tower. I do love the animation to the bomb towers. I never really noticed that until the last patch when they changed them and put them out. Now, down under a popular raid at Down Under, what I like about the Heave-A-Ho is in the current meta, Valks are quite powerful because giant bombs are outside, Teslas are in weird spots. Valks are actually quite useful. Teslas are in some weird spots, normally to path for Hogs or Witches, so it makes things like the Heave-A-Ho, which is quite an old raid now, a very, very viable army. So the basis around this is starts with the Queen Walk, gets the herding done to how he wants it, and then drops a Golem out to do a few Wizard Herd, and then drops the Valks to join into the Queen. So then the Valks are getting the healer. Now you see the good draw of the CC there with those Hogs. It also killed that defense which was powering away on the Queen. Jimmy's out, the Golem's out, the Wizard herding that I was talking about, and where are our Valks? There they are, the redheads are on the table now, so they are going to join into the Queen. Yes, they are, and you can see that switch, those healers go over to them, And when healers go through rage, they just go absolutely gangbusters. And that's what I love about it. The Valks get the rage. The healers then get the rage. It's just a double benefit. You see 2 healers lasting right until the end of the raid there. I'll put that in 4-speed. My apologies. But, yeah, I think it's definitely going to be interesting having a look at the Town Hall 10 versus 11s in BK, being a 2-5 breakdown. There's always the discussion of how many attacks do we use versus those bases. Do we use 11s? And it's going to be a really interesting season to see how it works out and go from there. So that's that war there, and we will now swap over to Woot Woot. Okay, now we see in the last one for the ACA for the week is Aussie Woot Woot versus Ola Returns in the Battle Machine Division. 2-point win to Aussie Woot Woot. What was the percentage? Sorry, I missed that. 93.8 to 89.5, so about 4% difference. What happened there? You can see 1 star left on 1 dick. Now, what was interesting was they did use 5 Town Hall 9 versus 10s and still didn't 2-star that, hit it twice, and old Gundiver left there, still alive. Did eat 4 attacks as well, so they failed on the 9s a little bit. Trying to catch up there now. Let's have a look at, it was only 42 points for Woot Woot, so 77, a 66, and a 64. Not big scores at all. 77, though, for a Town Hall 9 versus 10. I might even throw that replay in. It's good. That's a pretty bloody big open. And it then means when you're using hit downs, which it did need for Woot Woot, there was 3 hit downs. Compare that to last week where there was 5, is a good improvement. Obviously, none is better than a 3, but yeah, it's one of those things. So we can see now there was 6 hit downs for Ola Returns, all cleared, of course. A lot of them fresh, so planned that way. But of course, yeah, hitting down all the time, it makes it hard for the teams. You can see there 4 defences on Ricochet, 3 on Nick, 4 on Stag, 4 on Gundiver, and left alive, of course. Let's have a look at defences on Ola Returns. Now, interesting stat was there was 4 fresh hits to 3, so they were very close. 5 attacks on number 5 on old Billy Bob. I know there was 1 disconnect within that series. 4 attacks on number 4, cleared by Town Hall 10. 3 attacks on number 10, Shadow there, and 3 attacks on Steve. So in the end, there was some 2s and 1s. Let's have a look at 6-packers. I think there was Eiffel Barker and Master Wong. So you see that Master Wong actually had a 6-pack fresh. And where are we? Eiffel did cleanups. And I don't know. I think there was 1 for Ola Returns. Where are we? For attack. Was there any with 6-packs? No. So it must have been, I was looking at the Town Hall 10s. Let's have a look at it. Let's have a quick squiz through number 1 and see what we've got hit with Stag. 77%. Anything over 70% is good. When you're nearing 80%, hitting a max base is awesome. Now we see here 3 rage, 3 haste, 1 poison being donated, 5 healer. Queen Walk is going to be haste, loon, minions. So there's a good healthy chunk of loons, good healthy chunk of minions. And you just see starting with the haste loons. So nothing real magical. Probably did fail to spread the loons out well on those defences there. Missing only 1 defence though, and it's not going to make a difference. Shooting archers will reach those buildings anyway. So it's no biggie when you do this style of a hit if you miss 1 or 2 buildings. Pops the Queen ability early, probably because he was looking at doing the DPS percentage troops. Didn't know there was Teslas there, has found them, of course. Now, what I liked about the plan for this was the fact that Inferno didn't really come into play with the Queen pathing, so that meant she kept alive even though the ability was used. You can see now archers, minions all hitting the table. They're on the dance floor, so you can see the way the Queen has pathed has just been absolutely brilliant just to avoid that Inferno. Would have been interesting having a hit on this base if there was plenty of room, because you'd be able to then maybe just hog straight into that or something like that. You can see Jimmy Bob there, bowlers, rage used at the end. The Queen is dead, draws out the clan castle, some ground skellies there, 71%, still going. Still going. The bowlers are just going nuts, and they'll take out that that last building inside, and then a few minions at the end there. So 1 haste not used, 1 rage being used on Jimmy, so 77%. So these are the kinds of attacks that when you're doing opens, you need to put a bit of thought into them, and that's an awesome return there. Let's have a look now at number 7 I was going to have a look at. This was Fodder with a fresh hit, and who was the other one with a fresh hit was King Electro. And where are we? I didn't actually watch this attack. What have we got? It looks like a shattered go hog. I don't know what's in the clan castle. Let's chuck it in. Tumo. Good use of a baby dragon there, hurting that town hall. That's going to take a lot of damage away, and the king isn't drawn to that baby dragon, of course, but the baby dragon is going to go in and shoot the king like a noob. Do you see a baby dragon about archers? I think that was in the clan castle. Hero's doing a good job. Clan castle is going to be more hogs. I like it. I like it. So it's just a shattered go hog, a good healthy chunk of hogs, and then clan castle hogs as well, with 3 heals. So a good healthy chunk of hogs with 3 heals is always going to be a solid army if you can get out the heroes and the clan castle. And you can see 2 giant bombs being in doubles behind the Teslas. So that might have wrecked hogs, but well healed through, and of course the kill squad managed to get 1 set out. So bomb tower over there by its lonesome, plenty of hogs left, plenty of wizards. Queen's still alive, kicking, and thank you mother for the rabbits. Now let's have a look at number 11 I was going to go to next, and that was one of Eiffel's 6-pack hits. Where are we? What's he gone in with? Oh, this is why I like this. Now we've got a golem and a couple of healers. A giant, archers, wizards, hogs. Now what I love is seeing a golem with healers on it. It's just one of my passions, because you get that golem tanking for a long time. Probably a touch late on that poison, because that queen with 2-point defenses is still going to do the damage. A 3rd healer would have changed that, but it's another 14 units basis. So the wizard tower not shooting that entry point, so the wall breaker's just going for it. Unfortunately now, just in time that the golem dies. But what's really good about this is you can see where all the air defenses are at the back end of the base. They're not going to touch those healers, so unless they're trapped out there, which would be a higher chance that they wouldn't be, those healers, even after the golem dies, those healers are going to move on to your heroes. So you can see Jimmy Bob copping a heal now. Now he starts the hogs. That's awesome. 1 hog on each of those mortars, just gets them down. That takes away a little bit of damage off the table. It's also going to mean he's got 22 other hogs followed by CC hogs. The king gets followed by that healer. Unfortunately doesn't swap over to the queen, because Jimmy had his rage. If it had swapped over to the queen, would have been a much better result. She would have got more buildings down. You can see just a good old stink with the hogs now. So core bulk hogs, heals after the bomb tower. Did lose quite a chunk of hogs there, but picked it up enough, and another double giant bomb set there for Ola. Has a 3rd heal left. Archers are ground skellies are chasing after those hogs. The giant tanking at the end there probably saves the day. Those hogs, oh hello, looking a bit tired. The poor old hoggies, just enough to get through and kill that clan castle. That's the only thing that would have caused any dramas on that base at the end, being no minions. Great raid, Eiffel, big war 6-pack, that's 2 now. And I'm going to be showing 1 more. Let's have a look at one of Master Wong's and see what he's done. White. Where are we? Going in with a Golaloon. You see now, of course, the old bases being a little bit more witch slap defensive. The Golaloon, it pops up as another raid that's reusable again. Let's have a look at the intro and see what happens there. So quite a few minions down, half a dozen minions on the table. Mortars, so they're not going to shoot the minions, of course. Shattered golems. I'm not sure what's in the clan castle. We'll find out. The queen there, she's looking interested, but not actually shooting the golems. That's always a nice thing. Test wall breaker, followed by... Did it explode? Yeah. What's happening? Where's our wall breakers? Come on, Wong. Oh, alright, so in go the wall breakers. Hound clan castle. Fresh hit, of course. Didn't know it was a hound. touched late on the poison, but was waiting to see what was in the clan castle. Only the one poison, of course, so you can't go slapping that down preemptive, not knowing what was in there. So good analysis of that, because now left is there's just the 2 remaining air defences at the other side of the base. And what was in the clan castle? Didn't see. Was it bowlers? I missed it. Must have been a 3rd column. But you can see now the hound and loons going through. What's good is it's not an overlapping AD, so the air defence is only shooting one at a time, and that's on the hound. There was 2 hounds for the air phase, so they're going through. There mustn't have been many traps down there. So you can see they're giving a heap of tanking and still going through. Several left at the end, splitting up that last one for up there, and then of course clean up. What's clean up looking like? We've got a wizard down the bottom, a couple of pops for the lava pups, and still one hound didn't get popped. So yeah, that looks like the clan castle hound as well. Definitely came close. Here are the dog kind of stuff, but great raid from Wong, and of course a fresh 6-pack war, so good war all round. Yeah, so that wraps up my week of recap. Sorry you can hear in the background more sound. Just watching the end of Pot Luck. We've got another hour or 2 left of that, so it's been a late night for old Barn Dog. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed.
Fireball. I saw, I came, I conquered, or should I say I saw, I conquered, I came. This little chico on fire, he no lie. Well, y'all slipping, he's running the game.